will play the Jock to give Reckless to the Magic Carpet.
NANI?
Today on Ready, Set, Ink, we're being a bunch of silly billies and playing Mono Emerald. That's right, all the cards in this deck are only Emerald cards, and we're excited to do that every 7 gameplays you see. We got our 1-cost cards right here that we want to play on one. It's Fredward because he's inkable. We could have gone with Curse Merfolk. We could have gone with Enchantress. Probably should have gone with Enchantress. But this one we like because it's inkable and it can get us almost 3 lore because it can quest. And then if they challenge into it and banish it, we get another 2 lore with that deal. And, oh, it's only when it's challenged. Yeah. That makes sense. So if they, like, remove it any other way, we don't get the lore. I should have remembered that from the sealed, but I did not. And then we got our rats right here. We got 1 Jock and 1 Gus because they are the heart of the cards. He's pulling his little worm string trying to get Gus. He's trying to be safe. Is that... Oh, he's reaching for more cheese. He's like, hey, we got to get some cheese. This Stitch, underrated. Stitch for 1 ink. This character gets 1 strength this turn. If you have 10 ink to use, you can make this thing an 11-3 character and it can one-shot anybody in the game. This Stitch can shift into this Stitch, and that's what we want. We also have another green Stitch to give us the shift ability, and the Morph to give us the shift ability, and we have a couple of Jasmine targets for Jasmine to shift into. That's what we got going on. So this Stitch right here, you might have seen it in the collection boxes. We're using it for its ability. It says when you play this character, if you shift to play him, you may put an action card from your discard on top of your deck. And what card do we want to get back? We want to get back You Came Back, because it can let you ready chosen character. So if we ready a character like Stitch, we can quest with Stitch, ready him again, and quest with him again. That's 4 lore. That's a good deal. We also have this Jasmine. It says whenever you play this character and whenever she's challenged, each opponent chooses and discards a card. She's pretty expensive for a 3/3 body, but the discard ability makes Jasmine, the Desert Warrior, pretty good. Those are the characters that we have in our deck, but what's this over here? Why would we play a Verana? Because we need a lady in a chair to command the deck. This is basically our commander, the Fang Chief. I must make the hard decisions to protect my daughter, especially in this unfamiliar world. And who's her daughter in this deck? It's Jasmine. That's right, Verana is Jasmine's mom. Just in this deck, we got the You're Welcome. This might be our only card draw engine. We got the Transport Pod, and that's important because we want to move to one of our 12 locations that we got going on. We got the Hidden Cove that gives us +1 strength and +1 willpower while we're here, but we also got the Owl Island. That's right, Archasia's Island is right here, the secluded entrance. For each character you have here, you pay 1 less for the first action you play each turn. And then whenever you play a second action in a turn, gain 3 lore. So if we play 2 You Came Backs, we're going to get a whole bunch of lore. If we play this, we could maybe play it for free. If we have 4 characters at Owl Island, we're excited to do that, and we can get there with the Transport Pod, which at the start of your turn, we can move a character to a location for free, which is good because the Owl Island only costs 1, but we want to get there. And then we also have this location that might be harder to get to because it's a 4 that you have to pay 2 to move to. But it says while you have an exerted character here, opposing characters get -1 lore. We're going to mess up our opponent's math with the Ursula's Garden. I'd love to see this location in a good deck, not just a Mono Emerald deck, but that's why we're playing it here together. It's a budget deck at $30. You don't see that too rarely. We're excited to play it. Love to do it. The deck list is in the description. You can go here to Menu, Export, Ink Table, and play on Ink Table. Things that we learned in this video: don't play this if you want to win. Number 2, Jock is the best reckless giver there is. Lyle Tiberius Rourke, who? Am I right? And Bellwether, who? Right? Huh? 2 transport pods in the hand is worth none in the bush. I have 2 transport pod triggers at the start of each turn, and they do nothing because I have no locations?
Is that even Skibbity?
We're going to be going up against the Mono Amethyst deck that we played the other day. We do get the Ursula's Garden, love to see it, and we get the Transport Pod. It's going to be a good deal. We kind of love this hand. We're sticking with it. We are going to ink a Fred, and then we are going to play a Fred. It's as easy as that, and then we pass the turn. Next turn, we kind of want to put down Hidden Cove and a Transport Pod. They put down the Maleficent. You yuck. We are going to ink the Fred, play the Hidden Cove, and we are going to play the Transport Pod. That'll let us move Fred for free, and then we'll be able to take out this Maleficent with Fred and still be okay. We're going to pass the turn. Our opponent inks a card and plays down a Maleficent. What is this, a whole Maleficent deck? They're questing for 2, and we gotta cut that out. We get our Transport Pod triggered, so we are going to move Fred to the Hidden Cove for free. Don't have to pay the ink to do it. We just get to do it. We're going to ink a card. It's going to be the Transport Pod because we don't need more of those going on. And then we will get to play a Hidden Ink Caster. That's going to let us draw a card and make all cards inkable. It's a good deal for sure. We are going to challenge our Fred into the Maleficent, and we get to survive because we have 2 strength and 2 willpower while we're at the Hidden Cove, and then we get to pass the turn as easy as that. And then we can also take out this Maleficent because this is a 2-2, and that's a 2-2. We're gonna be okay. They play an Archimedes and a Pico de Gallo. The Pico de Gallo has the 3-2 stat line. We can move a character, but guess what? We're already there. We have the You Came Back action card, so if we had another health, we could stay alive, but we don't. We have Jasmine, which we probably need to ink at this point. Whenever you play this character, whenever she's challenged, each opponent chooses and discards a card. Ooh, that's pretty cool, but I think we have to ink it. We're inking it. And we are playing, should we play the Stitch? It's a 3-4. It can clear up some people. I think we're playing the Stitch. Yeah. We didn't use Shift, and then we will get to challenge the Fred into the Maleficent, getting rid of their lures. They're not going to be able to quest for 4. They'll just be able to quest for 2. And then we'll pass the turn. We got Stitch, who will be able to take out some characters. We like the sound of that. They're up at 5 lore. And then they play down a Firebird. The Firebird is dangerous. Firebird can one-shot our Stitch. Don't like the sound of that. We get Transport Pod. Going to move Stitch to the Hidden Cove. We are going to challenge Stitch into Pico. And then we will play the You Came Back action card to ready our Stitch. And then we are going to challenge our Stitch into the Archimedes. Sadly, our Stitch will be going away to the banishment area, and then this Firebird is free to do whatever it wants now. But we are going to play our Transport Pod so we can have 2 triggers eventually, and then we'll pass the turn. I think we're still doing okay up at 4 ink. Our opponent has 2 cards that they could play. They do take out the Hidden Cove. Our locations are going away. They play down a monster with a 5-6 stat line. They're absolutely huge. We have 2 pending triggers for the Transport Pod, but nobody to move anywhere to. We have Morph and a Ursula's Garden. We are going to play our Morph, and then we pass the turn. As easy as that. They're free to quest. They get down a Walrus. Huge bodies on board. 7 lore. Nothing for us to do about it except to quest faster than them. Do we have any card draw? We do have stuff later. Like we have the You Came Back action card. Ooh, the Stitch can one-shot these guys. We are going to play Ursula's Garden. We're going to play Stitch. And then we'll pass. Maybe I should have sent Morph into the Firebird. They're playing out their whole hand. All they have is vanilla cards. That's the joke of this deck. All vanilla cards, and they're running away with it. We don't have the smoke to take out all these cards. This Stitch can go to a 6-3 though, so that's pretty good. Transport Pods don't work right now. Whenever your opponent plays a song, you may draw a card. They don't have any songs in that deck, so we are going to go ahead and ink that. I'm scared if I play this, they're going to take it out. I am going to play it. And then I am going to challenge the Morph into the Fire Dragon. That's what we're doing. We're saving the Stitch to take out the Maleficent because that's 2 lore quester. We're not too scared about these other ones. And then we can pass the turn. They're up at 11. They do got the smoke, and they can play any card that they want. They do 5 damage to our location, which they wouldn't have. They quest their Maleficent for 2. Their Antonio's going to take out our location. We're not getting the lore for the location. They quest their Walrus. And now it's our turn. Do we get anything good going on? I don't think so. We get the Verana the lady in waiting here in our deck. We play Verana, the Fang Chief, and we are going to challenge Stitch into the Maleficent, getting rid of their lore ability. They can quest for 1, 2, 3, 4 next turn to go to 18. And hopefully they don't play a 2 lore character. They play a 1 lore character, the Magic Broom. But I think we are all the way cooked. They're going to take out Stitch with Antonio Madrigal, so we don't have that ability to challenge in. We have a 5/5 stat line that can only take out Antonio. We get 2 transport pod triggers. We get the Ursula's Garden. We are going to play the Ursula's Garden. And then they have game on board. They win. We're going to take out Antonio. And then we will pass the turn. They play down Pooh that can quest for 2. They're going to quest out for the win. We'll see them up at 19 lore. And they're questing with the Walrus for the win. Have you ever seen the Walrus win a game? We are going to go again and see if we can win this time. What are we going to do? I don't know. Owl Island. Less for each action. Stitch. Stitch is real good. He can shift into Stitch. This is our 1-drop. We can ink that. We can get rid of these 2, 3. Alright, not the worst, not the best. We will ink our Jock. We shouldn't ink Jock. We'll ink our Gus and play our Fred. And then we pass the turn. We're good to go. We're not doing our location shenanigans. They do play the best turn 1, the Maleficent that quests for 2. We get a transport pod, but we have a morph and we have a Stitch. We need to play the Stitch. We're going to ink the transport pod and we're going to play the Stitch down. And we are going to quest the Fredward for 1Zs. And then we get to pass. Now the Stitch will be able to take out the Maleficent. And we won't have to worry about that. And Fred will be free to quest. But they do put down a Pico, which is going to be able to challenge into the Stitch for 3 strength, taking them out. So we need to re-up our Stitches. We're going to ink the morph, sadly. And then play we are going to play a Stitch. And then we can challenge our Stitch into the Maleficent. It does 3 damage to it. Love to see it. And then we have Fred. Fred is going to quest for another 1 all the way up to 2. And then we're passing the turn. They got the Pico. What's the Pico going to do? Pico is going to take out Stitch and still live because we only did 1 damage back to it. They got 3 ink, and for 3 ink they put down the Magic Carpet, a huge character. We have Stitch, but we don't have any discard items in there. We have Jock, which we could give Magic Carpet Reckless. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless their next turn. Like the sound of that. We are going to ink. What would we ink? We're going to ink Fred. And then we will play the Jock to give Reckless to the Magic Carpet. And then we are going to quest the Fred. And then Stitch, sadly, has to take out this bird. We are going to challenge the Stitch into the bird. That's 2 of our favorite Stitches gone. And then we pass the turn. Now this Magic Carpet has to challenge Fred, and it has to give us 2 lore and deny them 2 lore. They put down another Magic Carpet and Maleficent. They got the smoke. They got the aggros, all vanilla cards on this deck. We have Jock. We have Jasmine, who can shift, but we don't have a shift target right now. We do have Stitch, though, that we are going to play Stitch. And then we get to challenge our Jock into the Magic Carpet. They are denied the... Oh, we only did 1 damage to it. That's a bad deal. Yeah, it's just when we play it too. Bad deals. And then we'll pass the turn. Now they can quest for a 6, 7, 8 this turn. They put down another Magic Carpet. We're kind of cooked, fellas. They're questing a whole bunch. They're up at 10 lore. They pass it to us. They say it's our business now. But luckily, Stitch can attack twice now with the You Came Back action, which is perfect for us. So we will challenge Stitch into the Magic Carpet. That's going to take it out. And then we are going to challenge Jock into the Magic Carpet. That's going to take it out. And then we are actually going to use the You Came Back action card to ready up the Jock, because he does 1 damage. And that's all we need to take out the Maleficent. We're okay. We're taking out their cards left and right. Right and left. Do we ink the Jasmine at this point in the game? It sure is looking like it. And then we pass the turn. We need 5 ink to be able to play our 5 cost characters. They're up at 5 ink as well. And we see a Magica Dispel and a Magic the Broom. We get a Jasmine. Good deal. Whenever you play this character and whenever she's challenged, each opponent chooses and discards a card. Or we put down the Stitch. Or if we shift the Stitch, we can get back You Came Back. So I think we're going to save the Stitch for a future shift, and we will get to play the Jasmine now. They're going to have to discard a card, but they ain't got no cards. We're going to use our Stitch to challenge into Broom because that can do the 3 damage and take out the Broom. Our Jock can quest for 2 big ones. We're up to 7. They're at 13. Are we scared? A little bit. We're on the rails for sure. They play the Olaf, the friendly snowman. They're going to take out the Stitch with the Magic Broom. The Magic Broom is a 2/4 stat line. Huge body, and their Magicka Dispel is also going to clear out our Jock. We got the You Came Back action card. Pretty good because we can take both of these out with Jasmine. But then we lose Jasmine. Interesting. I think we'll need to play this, and then we will just, we need to challenge, actually. This does 2 back. We will challenge into the Broom. Get rid of the Broom. That seems like the bigger threat, and then we'll pass. Jasmine only has 1 willpower left, but if they challenge into it, they have to discard a card, but they're too smart for it. The Olaf is going to do it and take out the Jasmine the old snowman way. They're up at 14 lore. We have our You Came Back action card, and we got the You're Welcome. So we are going to, I don't know what we should do here. We should probably challenge. We will challenge. Let me do damage. Raya, did you stand up? Wow. We're going to play the You're Welcome song card onto our own Stitch. It's going to shuffle it into our deck, and then we draw 2 cards. We get to ink our signed contract and then play our Morph. Hopefully Morph has something for us to morph into next turn. Otherwise, they might just get the big W. They play the Yzma, the Without Beauty Sleep. Do we get a shifting card? We do. It is Stitch, who we can use the You Came Back action card twice on this turn. It does 3 damage back. That's not too bad. We are going to shift. We're going to shift the Stitch on the Morph because we use shift. We can get back a card. We could use You Came Back. It'd be useful, but You're Welcome will let us draw a card eventually. We are going to challenge the Antonio. Now we are going to play the You Came Back action card. It's going to ready Stitch, and then we are going to quest with Stitch. We need to get the lore. They're up at 15, and hopefully the AI says, hey, let's challenge this Stitch. They play the Walrus, and they're going to quest the Antonio. Does their Yzma attack? Their Yzma attacks. We get You're Welcome, which doesn't help us out. If we shuffle one of them, they get 2. Did we lost because we top deck that? What a bad deal. We're not playing it. We're passing. They play down a Pinocchio's, and yeah, the Emerald Mono loses to Amethyst Mono any time of the day. We don't have the tricks up our sleeves to get rid of all the aggro that they got going on. Oh, we got Hidden Cove. We're going to play Hidden Cove, and then we're going to play the You're Welcome action card to shuffle in Hidden Cove into our deck, and then we draw 2. We get Hidden Cove, and we get Stitch. We're going to ink Stitch and then play the Hidden Cove. That's right. We have 1 location to their 4 characters on board with 19 lore. We are all the way cooked. They played an Archimedes just to add insult to injury, and then they quest. They're challenging with the Walrus. They're just doing damage. Their Yzma's taking out the Hidden Cove. And then Antonio Madrigal wins the whole game. Thanks for watching. We'll never play Amethyst Mono ever again.